This public hearing is relative to application to the New York State Department of Housing and Urban Development for the 2024-2025 Year 50 Fourth Annual Action Plan Community Development Block Grant. $4,906,360 Home Investment Partnership Grant. $1,565,122 Emergency Solution Grant, ESG, $435,488. Housing Opportunities for People with AIDS, $412,909. Okay, who else that?
All righty, housekeeping. Anyone that needs to use the restroom is out there to the right. And when we start, if anybody wants to speak, please sign one of these yellow cards in the back of the room to be able to speak. And every speaker has 2 minutes. When you come to the podium, state your name and your address and the organization that you represent. So our first speaker will be Greg Dewan.
Good evening. My name is Greg Dewan. I'm the Executive Director of the Hiscock Legal Aid Society. Our address is 351 South Warren Street here in Syracuse. Our tenant defense project focuses on preventing eviction and preserving housing stability for private housing tenants in the city of Syracuse, and emergency solutions grant funding is essential to our work. In the last year, we've handled over 1,000 housing cases, helping tenants who are facing eviction, uninhabitable housing, and illegal lockout or other struggles. As you all know, housing is an immense challenge for our community, and we work to ensure that the rights of tenants are protected. While we could always use more funding to increase our services, we appreciate the amount we have been awarded this year and recognize the need for the entire community of service providers to be properly funded. We rely on a network of community partners both to make and receive referrals, and work closely with Volunteer Lawyers Project of Central New York to provide representation to as many tenants in the city of Syracuse as possible. Hopefully, someday, every tenant will be guaranteed representation in eviction cases. I support this Year 50 action plan and appreciate your time and attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I leave these anywhere?
Yes, right here to the clerk. And if you have any written materials, please leave them with the clerk. Luz Marina.
Hi, I'm Luz Marina Zender. I'm the pro bono coordinator with the eviction program at the Volunteer Lawyers Project.
Your address, please.
Oh, 221 South Warren Street, Syracuse. So our mission is to provide access to justice, engaging the legal community with volunteer services. I'm here tonight to thank the MBD and the council for our allocation for year 50 and want to acknowledge the whole MBD team for the incredible support they provide. This ESG funding support, VLP works to prevent eviction in our community by providing eviction defense in Syracuse Landlord-Tenant Court and an advice and counsel for tenants in need. So eviction continues to be a serious issue here in Syracuse. Last year, there was over 3,600 households that were brought to court for eviction in Syracuse. Rents are soaring with increases. The average rate has gone 25% from one year to the next. Renters are simply unable to afford their rent at unprecedented rate. Homelessness is soaring, this making full comprehensive defense from eviction more critical than ever. For those who do have safe, affordable housing, they can stay in that housing. We see time and time again in court the way the tenants' rights are ignored and pushed aside when tenants do not have legal representation. Eviction has many serious consequences: interruption of employment, schooling, loss of personal possession, little wealth a family has, increased rates of depression, increased emergency room use. Housing is a human right and should therefore be the right of counsel in eviction proceedings. Our attorneys ensure that tenants have the full protection of the law when it comes to housing. With the support of this ESG funding, we continue to ensure that tenants have access to an attorney every single day in court, but our funding is not enough. VLP recognizes that the city of Syracuse does not have funds.
Thank you, Ms. Luz. And if you give this to the clerk?
Yes.
And just an announcement, the stenographer is online, so everything that you're saying is being recorded and it will be entered into the legislation. Thank you. Pye?
Hi, everyone. My name is Pai Mandara. I'm the Assistant Director of Resettlement Services from Interfaith Works, 1010
Address?
James Street, Syracuse, New York. Zip code is 13202-203. So Interfaith Works provides resettlement services for new arrived American. So looking back to the number of resettlement services provided, in 2019, we provided resettlement services to 70 people. 2020 to 21, we provide resettlement services to 121. 2022, 167. 2023, 475. 2024, we are expecting to resettle 895, with 435 already in Syracuse. Our housing program extended strong relationship with landlords, where we moved from 35 landlords to 101 landlords now. CDBG funds are critical to families. As an example, this year we assisted 275 clients, not only from our office, but also from other agencies who have been in the community for up to 5 years. Our organization has talented, skilled, and committed staff who do their best to assist people. With my colleague Felician, who is the manager of post-resettlement services, and had not had any client who came to our office for assistance and end up of being homeless. Thank you for the support we have received to assist clients experiencing crisis due to the culture shock and the language barrier. CDBG funding has been critical to maintaining housing stability for the newcomer. It will be more helpful if we get the whole amount we requested so we can continue assisting these families. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Joan Royal.
Good evening, council members. I'm Joan Royal, from the Executive Director of Westcott Community Center, located at 826 Euclid Ave in 13210. We first want to acknowledge and thank our appreciation for CDBG funding over in the past and the allocation for year 50. This year's year 50 allocation was reduced by $7,000, and we are requesting that this amount be restored to our funding. We greatly depend on CDBG funding, which funds our overall operating expenses, including staff, building, our older adult congregate services, and our basic needs program. The cut will directly impact our basic needs program and our adequate food for residents in need. We have observed a significant surge in food insecurity among the vulnerable families on the southeast side of the city. In the last year, we've seen a 39% increase in program participants, with 15 to 17 new households at each food distribution. We currently serve 736 individuals. The increase has caused us to add 2 additional days to our pantry because we cannot accommodate people in the 2 days a month we were doing it. I wanted the council to understand that we serve 94.5% of the individuals we serve are below the federal poverty level. We serve over 4,000 residents in the city of Syracuse, and we serve in the zip codes of 13210, 13224, 205, 214, and through our after-school and workforce developments throughout the city of Syracuse. These numbers represent real people in our community that are struggling with food insecurities and for themselves and their family. All center expenses have increased this current year's. Our utility bills, all supplies, staffing, health insurance, and although we purchase our food from Food Bank of Central New York, those costs have gone up as well. A cut in CDBG funding will greatly impact the individuals and families we are able to serve in year program 50. So please consider increasing that back up to the original amount. And thank you.
David Marnell.
Good afternoon, Ms. Hudson, members of the council. My name is David Marnell. I am the acting Chief Executive Officer for the Syracuse Model Neighborhood Facility. And I want to begin by thanking all of you for your continued support and funding to our agency. I am also wearing another hat. I am the Chief Fiscal Officer, and this year's funding was cut over $100,000, which truly created a financial hardship for us. The building that we're in, as you know, is relatively older building and requires a lot of maintenance. So that funding certainly, if possible to be restored, would help us get the building back up to par for our clients that come and use it. I know we've had some issues in the past, and I think that we're trying to work through them. I know that our vouchering is back on track, on time, and we continue to hopefully, work in tandem with the council and with all of you. So again, I would appreciate whatever you could do to restore our original funding back to at least the original amount, which was like close to $400,000. And if there's anything, Ms. Hudson, that you need from me, please do not ever hesitate to call. I'm going to give you my business card, or anybody on the council. I would be more than happy to give you a tour, walk you around, show you what we have, and go from there. So thank you very much for that opportunity. Was she asking me a question, Ms. Hudson?
Brian Fay.
Good evening. I'm Brian Fay, Executive Director of Syracuse Northeast Community Center. You get the 3 city-owned community centers in a row, so either I'm the best for last or strike 3. I'll let you decide. I'm happy to...
Mr. Fay?
What's that?
Your address.
716 Holly Ave, Syracuse 13203. I'm happy to speak of CDBG's transformative, positive support of Syracuse Northeast Community Center's neighbors and community. CDBG funding represents 15% of overall Syracuse Northeast Community Center funding for direct services and staffing. We leverage that support to develop additional private and public funding, and this affords SNCC the capacity to serve over 6,500 neighbors annually. A couple of weeks ago, John Tumino eloquently described many of our neighbors as people who feel invisible. And another person I spoke to said that we serve the people the world tries to throw away. Too many of our neighbors feel invisible. Too many rightly feel the world is trying to throw them away. Our mission is to engage, grow, and connect neighbors, those most in need. Our work is supported by many funding streams. Often, funding reflects what is in vogue, what looks good, what's new and shiny. I'm regularly asked, how will you sustain your programs next year? As if food pantry or senior congregate meals and youth program just need the right business plan to turn massive profits. We're entering CDBG program year 50. That's 50 years of seeing those who feel invisible, supporting those who the world tries to throw away. 50 years of inclusive, equitable support for our diverse community. How refreshing, how absolutely necessary. I'm grateful for our ongoing collaboration with Commissioner Collins and the NBD team who understand and support our work with neighbors, 97% of whom live below the poverty line, many of whom are newly arrived in the U.S., and too many of whom suffer the effects of sustained systemic racism.
Fay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jeffrey Wynn.
My name is Jeffrey Wynn. I'm from the McCarthy Manor Tenants Association, 501 South Cross Avenue, Syracuse, New York, 13210. I'm the president of the McCarthy Manor Tenants Association. The tenants at McCarthy Manor are distressed to learn that the administration of the city has cut funding for the Greater Syracuse Tenants Network. The Tenants Network has assisted the tenants of our building on and off for almost 30 years. We point out it is on and off because some years building conditions and relations with the management are such that we operate very well without assistance. However, when issues get complicated and we are not getting the attention from the owner or HUD, we need the experience and expertise of the Tenants Network. The board of the Tenants Network is composed of tenants. Tenants started the organization so they could have their own staff and support. Over the years, tenants from McCarthy Manor have served on the board of the Tenants Network, but no one is on the board this year. Twice, because of the Tenants Network, I've been able to speak on national Zoom calls to high-level HUD officials advocating for tenants across the country with changes in HUD policies, which would advance our tenants' right and improve the quality of our life in our buildings. Now McCarthy Manor is facing major roadblock in getting the physical improvements to our building, which the owner had planned to make using low income tax credits. Through the tenants network with other tenants from Syracuse and Onondaga County, we are fighting to preserve our building. The tenants at our building have discussed this, and we cannot understand why the city would cut our funding. We hope that the city council would put back the funding so the work of the tenant network can continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Charles Williams.
Good evening, City Council, President Hudson. My name is Charles Williams. I'm with the Belmore Tenant Association, 100 Wood Avenue on the south side. I lived in that building for 23 years through Lonely Jones. Then Greenland took it over. You know the problems with Greenland. That explained that the new owner took over. Sounds like it'd be a big improvement over Greenland, but it has not been. Tenants speak out for themselves to protect our rights. We have lots of problems in the building: security, homeless, sleeping in our buildings. The tenants network is going to get the police off and us to be able to see what can be done. The building is in terrible conditions. If we look outside the building, bricks are falling from the building. I'm on the first floor. If that building collapses, I'm at the bottom. If it collapses on me. We went through, from September to January, the building was out heat. We had no heat in the building for over 4 months. They just installed a new boiler the end of January, and the boiler has broke down 4 times already. So I'm saying to you guys, please help us get back the funding from the state that is going to take away the tax credits to this renovation. The renovation needs to be done because that building is not going to hold up if the renovations are not done. So please give the funding to the Greater Tenants Network so that we can work together to get this renovation done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Andre Harper.
Good afternoon, and thank you to the City Council. I'm here from the Dunbar Center at 1453 South State Street, Syracuse, New York, 13205. A lot of information. But I want to stand before you and say thank you for the money that you give to Dunbar Summer Enrichment Program, because there's a lot of alternatives for children, and this is a positive one. And through your support, we're able to collaborate with the Allen Foundation and a lot of other organizations in order to make the summer a very good experience for them. But I also want to talk on behalf of the seniors program at Dunbar. I think it's important for people to understand that we do have a seniors program, and they're here, and there's a lot going on. And there's a lot of activities that's happening, workshops, presentation, as well as having opportunity for them to participate in gross motor activities, as well as for those who participate, who can't, are not as mobile, to participate in chair opportunities and exercise. So we're asking that you support our seniors program, because I think it's a good one. I think you'll be pleased with what we're trying to get done. And they're here to let you know that we want to be seen. Thank you.
Thank you. You have something in writing, sir? Gail Williams.
Hello, my name is Gail Williams, and I'm at 1553 South State Street at the Dunbar Center. I'm here to advocate for the Dunbar Senior Program and After-School Children Program. I was born and raised in Syracuse. I'll be 75, the Lord let me see next month. I went to Dunbar when I was in elementary school and high school, and now I'm a senior at Dunbar. Dunbar been existing about 100 years. And I just want y'all to recognize our program, that we need this program, and to help us. Thank you.
Thank you. Taisha Martin.
Good evening, colleagues, public officials in this honorable body. My name is Taisha Martin. I'm the Director of Community Engagement at CNY Fair Housing. I live at 770 James Street, Syracuse, New York, 13203. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank the Common Council and the administration for its continued support of CNY Fair Housing. Over the past year, CNY Fair Housing has investigated hundreds of housing discrimination complaints, conducted dozens of systemic testing and investigations, and educated thousands of people on fair housing rights and responsibilities in the city of Syracuse. At a time when housing is so difficult to come by, we can't afford to let people lose out on housing opportunities due to housing discrimination. Your continued support ensures that we have the resources to fight housing discrimination in the city of Syracuse. And I'd just like to say thank you again, and we look forward to a great year. Thank you.
You have something in writing, Taisha? Thank you. Sharon Sherman?
Sharon Sherman, Executive Director of the Greater Syracuse Tenants Network, 731 James Street, 13203. I want to acknowledge that we have two tenants from the Brighton Towers Tenant Association, Sharon and Donna, here today. They're not going to speak. And Bill Lee, our board president, who was formerly at Harrison House. So our organization is all about tenants. I'm going to distribute to each one of you a document I gave you by email a couple of weeks ago, just to make sure that everyone has a clean copy. We also have letters coming from the Courtyard at James, Brighton Towers, Valley Vista, and I'm forgetting one. Sadly, the tenant president of Valley Vista and I wrote a letter, and sadly she passed away in the fire the other day. So, not going to submit that letter. It's just really hard when someone passes in such a manner. So, one thing I realized after I sent out the message to the individual counselors is that we really have been cut 10,620. I said 10,000, so I'd appreciate if we could get support to put that money back. It is so crucial. You all read the article yesterday, I hope. I sent you a printout because it's an exclusive. You can't get unless you subscribe to Post Standard. And we are fighting to get this money back. The deals for McCarthy and for all those properties by this new company, Springtide, those other properties are mostly Greens, Troy Greens, who took it over from Longley Jones. They're, as Charles said, they're in very poor condition, and they had a deal on the table. And when they went to get their document
Thank you, Sharon.
for tax credits,
Sharon,
they said no.
You can leave your statement with the clerk. Thank you. Carrie Quaglia.
Good evening. Kerry Quaglia. I'm the CEO of Home Headquarters. We're at 538 Erie Boulevard West, Syracuse 13204. We're very gratified to be in the proposed plan again this year for important programs such as the Urgent Care Program, SHARP, Closing Cost Assistance, Homebuyer Education, et cetera. But we've got other people tonight that are going to speak to those programs. What I wanted to chat with the council about is that we can't have another year like we had this past year. The program generally starts on May 1st. I think it's been well documented that there was not a release of funds until relatively recently. What that meant is that Home Headquarters had to lay out more than $2 million to pay for needed roofs during the construction season, furnaces, backed up sewers, et cetera. Put a tremendous amount of strain on this organization. I don't know that there's many other agencies in town that could have done it. I think my staff would probably tell you we couldn't do it either. But we're looking for creative solutions from the administration and the council because we can't do that again this year, and we certainly don't want to lose a construction season. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Carrie. Damaris Carter.
evening. Hi, my name is Jamaris Negron Carter. I live at 126 Holden Street, Syracuse, New York, 13204, Skunk City. Hey, hey. I work for Home Headquarters. I am a senior mortgage loan officer. We're located at 538 Erie Boulevard West, Suite 100, Syracuse, New York, 13204. As a first-time home owner and now an employee of Home Headquarters, I see firsthand the impact that your funding has had on myself and also constituents we help on a daily basis. I have been able to purchase my home and repair my home as needed, which has made a huge difference in my life and my daughter's. I know that other people know to go to Home Headquarters for assistance, and without your continued funding, there would be a loss on our community. Please continue to support Home Headquarters, and let's continue to improve the lives of the underserved and revitalize the communities in which we all live in. Thank you.
Thank you. Tisha Evans.
Good evening. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to speak and be heard this evening. I consider it an honor and a privilege. I reside at 253 Coolidge Ave. I'm a lifetime resident here in the city of Syracuse, and I'm here speaking on behalf of Home Headquarters. I can't begin speaking about Home Headquarters without first speaking about a man named Kerry Quaglia that I met in 2014, 4 months after I purchased my grandmother's home that she bought in 1959 and raised me in. After she died, the home became heir property to her children, my dad, my aunt, and my uncle, who had since moved away, relocated down south, and lost their connection to Syracuse, New York. Needless to say, like many of the other properties here in the city of Syracuse, it fell into tax delinquency and it had serious problems with deterioration. In 2014, I decided to buy the house in my mind to save it from the land bank and give back to the community. A short 4 months later, to my surprise, I received documents letting me know that my grounds were being condemned because the sidewalks were so badly damaged that the grounds were unsafe for people to walk on. Certainly 4 months after closing, I didn't have the $15,000 required to fix the damage to the sidewalks. In a state of disbelief, I reached out. I heard about Home Headquarters from a lawyer friend of mine who did not live in the city, but she worked in the city of Syracuse. She said there was a big buzz about this new place called Home Headquarters. She didn't know anything about it really or where it was even located. I looked them up. The very next day, I canvassed in there with my letters of condemnation, and I spoke to the lady at the front desk. While explaining my story, I began to cry. She didn't know what to do, so she ran out back and got Carrie. Carrie came up, and that was my introduction to Kerry Quaglia. Kerry came up and took my hand. The first thing he did was ask me to please stop crying. And when I tell you folks, it wasn't a little teary-eyed here and there. It was a... Is my time up?
Your time is up.
I'm sorry.
But you can give us your statement and we'll go into the record. Sorry, Carrie.
I support them and I hope you guys will support me.
Julius Lawrence.
It would have been a great story.
First of all, my name is Julius Lawrence, facilitator for the Southside TNT program. Since I have only 2 minutes, I'm going to take briefly to talk. I want you to take a look at that plaque over there. That plaque is a Community Development Advisory Committee, which it took us 7 years to get that plaque up. And that's why we are able to meet here now, because of the CDAC program and stuff like that. So when you get a chance, take a look at that. I'm looking in behalf, since I got on a few minutes, I'm looking at behalf of Greater Syracuse Tennis Network. You're cutting them over $10,000, if it's possible, to restore that money to them. But one I am very much concerned about, the Dunbar Center. I noticed that you're cutting them. You're not giving them any money at all. And I'm a senior citizen. My wife over there is a senior citizen. All these senior citizens here. Dunbar Center has been neglected so many times, so you need to restore, if possible, to restore some of that money to them to help out the senior citizens. All of you are going to be senior citizens one day. Are you going to continue? I'm 78, be 79 pretty soon, and I work with the Southside program. People can tell you right there. You need to restore that money to Dunbar Center to help with all of the programs that Dunbar is doing. You know, Dunbar Center itself, if I sound like a recorder, you know, I'm trying to rush some information. Dunbar Center has been around over 100-some years. I used to work at the Dunbar Center when I was a young man. At the time, I had a head full of black hair and had a head full of hair right here. But now you see I'm bald, and my daughters and them used to run around this place all the time. They were kids when the CDBG first started and stuff like that. So my point is, if you can restore some money to Dunbar Center to help them out on their program, because they are doing an excellent job. If you can restore some of that money to Dunbar Center and also the Tennis Network, I work with them in some project and stuff like that. These programs need it. I know that there's other programs that are looking for money and stuff like that, but if it's possible, restore some money to the Dunbar Center Senior Citizen Program. And like I say, you all are going to be seniors one day. Would want them to continue cutting programs and to help out a lot of seniors? Okay, my time is up.
Mr.
Okay.
Julius. Ms. Glover? I want to pronounce the name, but I don't want to kill it. Yes.
How you doing this evening? My name is Rushawn Glover, and the reason why I'm here on behalf of Jubilee Homes on 119 South Avenue, Syracuse, New York, 13204. I'm here to represent, excuse me, Twiggy Blue, who represents the Board of Education for the Syracuse City School District. I went to her a couple years ago looking for a job. And I just came from Nottingham to come down here and represent her, ma'am. And at the end of the day, the program was a success. I'm still working, and I still keep in contact with the lady, and she's a good mentor. And she has very good leadership. At the end of the day, I think that their program still needs to be funded, because not just myself, but somebody else who's looking for a job that could take them out of certain situations, Jubilee Homes was the place to go to. Thank you.
Thank you. Annette Butler?
Thank you. Hi, my name is Annette Butler. I live at 215 Elk Street, Syracuse, New York, 13205. I have been with Home Headquarters for, oh God, a good 20 years. When we came to the city, we were originally from Rochester. When we came, the house that we live in was a condemned house. We saw it, we saw that it had a lot of potential, and so we purchased it. Purchased it not knowing that it needed so many repairs. Make a long story short, the lady that lived next door to me, God rest her soul, she's gone, but she told us about the program. We applied, we were accepted. We've been with Home Headquarters ever since. I'm so blessed and so thankful for the help that I've received. I tell everybody, because my street now has just senior citizens, basically, and the homes are older homes and they need repairs. So whenever I get a chance, I tell everybody, go down and apply at Home Headquarters. They're the best people, and they will help you. And thank God for all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm not going to butcher your name, so I'm going to, Panette.
That's a hard act to follow. Hi, I'm T-Lai.
Funny.
I'm T-Lai Panette. I'm the Director of Career Services for On Point for College, 488 West Onondaga Street, Syracuse, New York, 13202. I hate talking about myself. I'm honored to stand before you today representing On Point for College and to highlight the transformative, impactful work that the Career Services Department is doing, made possible by your generous support. At On Point for College, our Career Services program goes beyond merely assisting students in their college endeavors. It serves as a guiding light for students at the beginning of their academic journeys, offering them a platform for career exploration. From the moment students enroll at On Point, our career assessment process guides them in planning their career paths, setting the stage for their future success, whether it's through traditional academic routes or alternative career paths. In addition to career exploration, we are committed to re-engaging stop-out, never-attended participants, providing them with opportunities to explore alternative career paths if college is not their preferred route. We understand that everyone's journey is unique, and our goal is to support individuals in finding the path that best aligns with their aspirations and goals. Our career services program is designed to equip students with the essential soft skills needed for professional growth. Through mentoring and empowerment and professional development workshops, we instill confidence and resilience in our students, preparing them for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead in the workforce. Furthermore, our program offers invaluable pre-professional experience, including job shadowing and paid internships, which bridge the gap between academic learning and real-world application. These hands-on opportunities are crucial in helping students gain practical insights and build connections within their chosen fields. Your continued investment allows us to serve over 200 college-bound youth, stop-outs, and graduates annually, ensuring that each individual receives the support and guidance needed to thrive in their career.
Thank you. Saisha Bird.
Good evening, council members. My name is Saisha Bird. I'm the board president of Home Headquarters, 538 Erie Boulevard West, 13204, and I'm also here in support of continued funding through CBGB for emergency programs. Before I was a board president, I was a resident, a renter. Renting from a horrible landlord, living in a horrible apartment with my child, and never thinking I would achieve that American dream until I met Carrie and I met the Home Headquarters staff, and I was able to buy and bring to life a really old 1850s home on the north side of Syracuse. But throughout, they not only helped me become a first-time homeowner. When the foundation was crumbling, they stepped in. When my mother's roof was leaking, they provided funding. And I heard a lot of folks talk about homelessness. If we don't continue funding emergency situations for families, our numbers will increase. We will have even more homeless folks because their houses are deteriorating. We all know the history of our housing in Syracuse. Our houses are old. They have lots of character, like this building here, but they're old and they're crumbling, and we need this funding to sustain our homes so we can stay in this community and continue to give back and continue to make positive change here in Syracuse. So thank you.
Thank you. Stephanie Pascal.
Good evening, Council. I'm here to speak tonight on behalf of Jubilee Homes, 119 South Ave, 13204. Thank you all so much for allowing me to speak tonight on behalf of Jubilee. Hi, how are you? I just joined the board this year, but I've been involved with this organization for more than 20 years, and as I was calculating, actually, well, it was 25 years ago. Jubilee has a long history of being there when people need them the most, a trusted housing and community resource for so many on the southwest side of Syracuse. I met well after the impact of the Labor Day storm, and we knocked door to door to find out what people needed. When the expansion of the flood zone map happened and folks had to get flood insurance, Jubilee was there and delivered almost 200 people to Southwest Community Center to sign up for flood insurance. During the pandemic, that doorbell kept ringing and they found ways to continue to serve. So community response to all of these events took trust. Building trust takes time, effort, and intention. It only takes a moment to break, but years to earn. Through each of these challenges, Jubilee was there and answered the call. Over these last several years, the organization has grown and pivoted to meet changing needs, including diversifying their revenue streams and becoming far less dependent on the block grant, despite stagnant allocations, increasing programming and providing even opportunities for generational wealth building and pathways out of poverty. You all and the team, the wonderful team at MBD, have an incredibly difficult job to do with increasingly scarce resources, particularly considering today's dollars. However, it's imperative that the block grant, CDBG, home, and ESG are spent towards housing and related activities. That's what it was designed for, and that's what we need so badly. We can't lose any of the capacity in this community that we've built. It can't diminish any further. Jubilee has an incredibly talented team that I'm so proud to be a little part of as a board member. They work hard each day to deliver for this community. I urge your support of this organization with any additional funds that may be available. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Doug Riker.
Hello, my name is Doug Riker. I live at 308 Highland Avenue in Syracuse, 13203. A little bit of my background. I've been involved with housing in this community for over 35 years, including working for the former Syracuse Community Development Department, home headquarters, and finally, last 13 years as president of Christopher Community, from where I retired. Along the way, I made many contacts with housing professionals in the community, and over a year ago, Walt Dixie reached out to me with a desire to ramp back up his own housing construction program. They've been building homes in one way or another for about 30 years, but they decided they needed to get back into it. Staffing up to do new construction and home renovations is expensive. Walt and I discussed the idea of using local consultants and vendors to achieve the goal without burdening the overhead of an operations. Walt and his staff, with my help, have set up relationships with grant writers, graphic artists, architects, engineers, and contractors who can develop, fund, and construct new homes. We have 3 in the advanced planning stage, along with another 5 in the works as well. The work will be done under the direction of Jubilee staff and utilize local people in all levels of work. This doesn't change Jubilee's long-standing relationship with other housing not-for-profits. Jubilee has an ongoing projects with home headquarters and housing visions with projects underway in the neighborhood. There are many more partnerships planned in the future. And in addition to these partnerships, Jubilee has been pursuing projects with out-of-town MWBE developers, including some in Boston as well as on the West Coast, and looking to develop 20 to 60 unit multifamily affordable housing projects. As we all know, the housing shortage and affordability is larger than any of us have ever experienced, and it will require an effort of every housing agency and all the private developers we can coax into the most needy neighborhoods to even begin to close to meeting the need. Jubilee is also determined to meet the needs of the residents and at the same time try to introduce mixed income housing into the neighborhood. The belief that no neighborhood should be branded with one fixed income level and that the path out of poverty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can leave that with the clerk. Shannon Cunningham.
Good evening, council members. My name is Shannon Cunningham. I'm with Covenant Housing Corporation of Central New York. Our offices are located at 1228 Teal Ave, 13206. On behalf of our board of directors and staff, we would like to thank the City of Syracuse Department of Neighborhood and Business Development for including our agency once again in Program Year 50. We are a small agency that works one-on-one to provide long-term, affordable housing solutions for special needs individuals and families. Support from the city is instrumental to the ongoing success of our organization and the individuals and families that we serve. In Program Year 49, we submitted 4 owner-occupied home project applications. However, we only received funding commitment for 1. We hope to receive commitments for the other 3 projects in 2024, as well as support for Program Year 50 projects so that we can continue to provide much-needed assistance for low-income, special needs homeowners in the city of Syracuse. In 2023, MBD operating assistance helped us to assist 4 low-income first-time home buyers to purchase homes within the city of Syracuse. One of those projects partnered with City MBD to ensure affordability. We acquired a single-family rental in Eastwood to develop as affordable special needs housing for low-income families with disabilities. We continued our assistive technology and environmental modification program, completing over $230,000 in accessibility projects for 12 individuals and their families. And we continue to manage 44 units of safe, decent, affordable housing for 107 low-income individuals throughout Onondaga County, 45 of which are within the city of Syracuse. Again, we thank you for being included in Program Year 50, and we look forward to partnering with the city again this year and in many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Bob Sikowski.
Good evening. I'm Bob Sikowski with Empire Housing and Development Corporation. We're located at 643 Park Avenue, 13204. Empire is a not-for-profit housing agency. We work to provide affordable housing, mostly home ownership, but also affordable rental. You know, I was thinking as I came here tonight that 30 years ago, Empire was just starting, and we came to the council and asked for your support, and you gave us a small grant. And here we are 30 years later, and we're still asking for your support. And just want to say thank you for all the support you've given us over the 30 years. This being our 30th, we've completed over 600 projects, all for affordable home ownership. And we serve low-income people who are trying to buy a house for the first time, and also to make improvements to the homes they're purchasing. And it's been all about partnerships. We've been lucky to have partnerships with Home Headquarters and Peace and Christopher Community, the LED program, NBD, of course, and the council. So can't thank you enough. We look forward to, I don't know if it'll be another 30 years, but look forward to many more years working with you. And just thank you for all your support.
Thank you. Caitlin Copter.
Hello, my name is Caitlin Kupfer. I am the Director of Youth Programs at the YWCA of Syracuse and Onondaga County. And I first want to say thank you for your continued support. Our programs include a women's residence and our youth leadership and development programs, which are Girls Inc. at the YWCA and our YWCA soccer programs. These programs provide spaces in which we offer education and enrichment for women and children. Our women's residence provides a refuge for those seeking or those fleeing domestic violence, and we offer employability, skill training, as well as life skill development. Our youth programs also offer life skill development, academic enrichment, specifically in STEM, and social emotional learning, which is critical to help our youth turn into fantastic adults. And we would love to be able to continue expanding our programs, specifically with our soccer initiatives, and offer more girls programming for soccer, especially for grades 3rd through 6th. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to try not to really butcher this. Candelaria Romero. How good did I do?
Good evening. I'm Candelaria Romero. I'm actually a new business owner, and I'm here to support of Jubilee Homes, asking for you guys to continue funding. My business is actually the Old Joe's To Go, Birria Queso Tacos, SYR. They only don't help, the community, but they help me as a business. Rita, Walt, they've been great, and I wanted to come here and show that I want you guys to please continue supporting them. Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. We have now concluded this public hearing. I declare this public hearing closed, and all of the legislation will be considered at our next agenda. Yeah, it is. I was finna grab your phone.